to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
My greetings to my fellow Nigerians, and you are welcome to today's edition of Face to Face program. First of all, before I continue, I want to apologize for not being able to broadcast for the past, I think, 2 weeks now. However, we are back fully online now. Whether I'm here or not, there will be a broadcast every Wednesday as usual. Our topic for today, we are going to be discussing who are the individuals identified as obedient, and are they members of the Labour Party? Because some of us are mistaking the obedient movement for members of the Labour Party Nigeria. The obedient movement is a group of like-minded Nigerians who came together, who saw the need for a political and a revolutionary change in Nigeria. They came together under the umbrella of obedient movement, obedati movement. And they are different from the ordinary members of the Labour Party Nigeria. And today we are going to be joined by a special guest, who we are going to be talking through the difference between the regular Labour Party members and the obedient movement worldwide. Like I said, the obedient movement are like people of like-minded who saw the need for changes in Nigeria, and they are different. So the Labour Party Nigeria should not underrate the power of the obedient movement. They should not underrate the power of the people, because the obedient movement, they cut across all political spectrum in Nigeria. They are PDP, they are APC, they are Labour Party, they are AFGA, they are SDP, they cut across, like I said, in all the political parties in Nigeria. So we should not take them for granted. We should also appreciate the good work that they put in under the umbrella of our principal, our Peter Gregory Obi of Labour Party, because they saw something good in him, and that was why they collated around him to form that Obidati movement that became a tsunami in Nigeria political history. I'm going to bring in my brother, Chief MD, so we can dive into the discussion for today. Chief MD.
Hello, good day, good evening, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever everybody are in this world. It's a privilege to be here again to discuss this phenomenal change or political shift that we're experiencing, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm back in UK on holiday to see the family, and like I said, I'll be around for a little while. I'll be honored to take any kind of questions and be actively participating in this robust exercise of explaining and developing our consciousness of Labour Party and who are the Labour Party people today.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's dive into our discussion for today. What characterizes the obedient people?
Well, it's very simple. People, most especially the Labour Party, should not mistake the obedient people as totally Labour Party members. And that will be a real misnomer, because then we will lose great opportunity to enhance the development of the party itself. Majority of the obedient party people are people who are very dissatisfied from the APC last 8 years. People are extremely disappointed in PDP as well forever. A new majority young dynamic people who have not been fully engaged in politics for a very long time. And newly people who are suddenly getting their voters registration, who are now interested in how the government or the society is being managed. So the obedient people are not party affiliated. They are visionaries. They are people who seek new way, new leadership, who are looking for an alternative from this old carcass of people who are been governing us in a self-interest way, but rather than they're looking for new leaders who will put the society first. And that is the difference. And that is very more important to the obedient movement and the obedient core people more than anything else. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our viewers all over the world, you are also part and parcel of this program. If you have any comments you want us to, to mention on this program, please, you can do that. Send us a comment on the comment section and we'll gladly do that. But remember, we do not take insult. Okay, my next question for you, Chief MD. In what ways are obedient labor members different from ordinary members?
Very much. Average obedient member have no serious party affiliation, and that's the truth. So anyone who say otherwise don't really listen or follow obedient people at all. So as far as I'm concerned, an average obedient member is people who are interested in policy. Average obedient person or obedient movement, people are involved or interested in the society development, in good governance, in integrity, in honor, and also looking for something new, different from what we've had in the last past democratic process. So for you to be an old politician jumping from party to party and thinking obedience will follow is a lie. If you see what happened in Imo State, and if the majority of the people who won this last election are people who obedient followed, who are fresh and new and different. From a taxi driver to a new set of people I've never contested. Even some of them even follow the obedient wave. However, obedient will not just follow the party. Many obedient people or obedient movement are leaning towards Labour right now because Labour is fresh. But obedient people or obedient movement will not follow somebody or people that is mandated by the party on them. And look at what's happening in Imo. Majority of the obedient people wanted somebody different from whom the delegate wanted or voted for. The delegate are the party people, the core party people, who probably selected and picked by some imagination to support certain people or certain person who has perhaps, the means to buy them over. But that's not obedience. Obedience cannot be bought. They are policy people. As such, the party must be very careful when it comes to electioneering to know that they cannot ordain somebody and expect obedient people to follow them, because obedient people transcend the party. If you speak to an average obedient person, they will tell you I'm obedient before they say the party they belong to. And secondly, we should be very, very careful of this. Obedient people is beyond just the name Obi, Peter Obi. It just happened to be coined as obedient. It's beyond Peter Obi himself. So people cannot associate obedient with just Peter Obi. What Peter Obi represents, what Peter Obi tried to do and fight for, what Peter Obi is fighting for in court today is what obedience represents. So it's beyond a person. It's a movement. I'm not trying to compare him to Christ. It's like when the apostles were called Christians, it was because of what they were doing and represent. It wasn't just because of Christ. They were called Christians because they were doing what Christ laid out. And so those are the believers of Christ. And that is to say, those are the believers of what Christ stood for and the movement Christ came, the salvation. That's like obedient people. I'm not likening Peter Obi to Jesus Christ. Please, audience, let me clarify that. I'm not calling Peter Obi Jesus Christ. I'm just using a simple, I'm just using a simple analogy to express the movement that was coined into obedient movement. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm sure the audience understood very well what you are trying to tell them. So in your own words, so which means the obedient people are people of they are like-minded Nigerians. They are like-minded
Absolutely.
Nigerians that found something good in Peter Obi. That was why they came under the umbrella of Obi Dati to form that formidable force in order to take down the vampires and those who have held Nigerian hostage for the past 24 years. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You summarize it better than anyone. The obedient movement is exactly what you said they are doing. This is the motivating factor of the obedient movement is the tiredness of an average Nigerian, most especially the next generation youth coming in. Is the tiredness of the old way, how things were done. One person finish, you go pick in right hand person to be the next governor or the next senator or the next House of Assembly, where a common man cannot rise unless they have a godfather, where a common man cannot even challenge the norm unless they have a godfather. It's only in Nigeria you will rule, your wife will rule, your children will rule. Now waiting, they turn a political position to a family business. Your brother will rule, your brother wife will come in, your brother cousin wife, cousin brothers, it becomes a family business. And the obedient movement is against that. That is why the obedient movement are leaning very close to Labour right now. Labour officials should be very careful that they do not kill this movement or allow another party to come in and steal this movement. And when a party comes in and steals this movement, it will disintegrate it into sectional base. It will disintegrate. Right now, they have a united core, which is Labour Party. The obedient movement can be stolen in the south and southeast by Abga. The obedient movement can also be stolen in the southwest, either by the new form AD or party in the southwest. Like same thing can be stolen away by the Kwangoso group in the northeast. Because the same philosophy that we are not obliged to follow the norm where we do things how it used to be, that is not giving us any result or giving the average man to challenge the status quo. And that will be the detriment of Labour Party itself. If we do not focus to enhance this obedient movement into Labour Party, find a way to integrate them into Labour Party, sustain it with a clear vision. Because what happened in Imo State cannot be allowed to happen in anywhere else. Where 500 plus people chose a candidate that crossed over from a party that was financed by the opponent for the purpose to destabilize the party. And some handful delegates put the fate of millions of people because that candidate could bribe or pay them to vote against their conscience, against the better judgment of the state of the majority people. And the person whom the obedient backed that would have supported in the general election lost in the primary. Only 500 plus people voted. They lost in the primary, and millions of people. It's more than likely that Labour Party will lose Imo State because of that. Because some delegates were bought. Some delegates were bought. They sold their conscience and gave the ticket to the person that has no backing of the obedient movement. And that's the problem. And if that happens across board, we will lose. We will not only lose the election, we will lose a generation of people who came into politics because of the obedient movement.
Thank you. Let me just quickly come in there a little bit, and I'll give you time to further expatiate on what you were saying. So, considering the current political terrain now in Nigeria, the obedient movement felt very sad about the event of the after event of the general election that brought in the selected president of Nigeria today. The case is in court, And many of us we are of the opinion that for the fact that Tinubu, the president selected, is a close associate to the Supreme Court justice. Also for the fact that recently he also signed a bill extending the tenure of the judges. If they were due to retire next month, they will have extra 5 years added to their tenure. Consider all this fact. The obedient movement, what do you think is their fate at this point in time? Looking at the whole scenario that I've just summarized in one word for you.
It is a shame, but it is expected that Tinubu will find one way, directly or indirectly, to, lack of better words, abuse the system. And it's an indirect bribery to the Supreme Court judges. It's an indirect, in fact, it's a direct bribe, not indirect. It's a direct bribe. If you extend the retirement age for all judges, why immediately now? Why not say after the case? That's a pre-pro quo. It's not in return expecting them in return. In law, that is illegal. It's an open bribery. In law, it's expecting them in return, because he extend their terms with extra 5 years rather than a couple of months. It's expecting them in return to do him a favor, because that's what it is. Now, I'll be brutally honest with you. We will need a miracle to win this Supreme Court, this case in the Supreme Court. When I say we need a miracle, the Chief Judge is personally known to Tinubu. Now, we're praying that he will rise to the oath of his office, the oath of office, the oath of law, the justice, the jurisprudence, the integrity of the court lies on his shoulder. The life of many people who believe in the democratic process lies on his shoulder. We are all praying that he rise to the occasion, despite this direct bribery of an extension of up to 5 years. But I doubt it very much, if I have to be honest with you. I doubt it very much because of this. We know the corruptive method of Tinubu. And we know Tinubu believes everybody could be bought if the price is right. Look at the INEC chairman, as arrogantly boastful about the system. Even when he was in Chatham House early this year before the election, as arrogantly boastful about the system and all the things we're hearing from the court. It will be very, very difficult to say that INEC chairman wasn't compromised. It will be very difficult. Evidence shows otherwise. We want to give him the benefit of doubt. But now, if INEC chairman, with all the arrogance and boastful nature before the election was exhibiting, and evidence are coming out in court, not by hearsay, that the system was compromised, the INEC chairman is at the end of it, is at the head of it. If it is true that the system was compromised, there's no way we can deny that the INEC chairman wasn't compromised. And then, if that is possible, how about the Supreme Court judges? Look at the case against Shetima. It's the law, he can't contest for 2 seats. But he did. They just casually threw away the case. Not even giving a proper hearing. They just casually threw away the case. My fear is this. This is my fear. That the Supreme Court might resort to. And I pray not. And I pray not. Because I don't want it to be like I'm predicting. They're going to come up to this kangaroo judgment and say, INEC, we blame you for your process. The handling of ballot material, the handling of the result and everything was shambles. We blame you. As such, you should amend and do this, blah, blah, blah. However, they will now conclude that, oh, Peter Obi case that he presented, that there's insufficient fact for them to judge or conclude that the election should be overturned. That's called judicial magic.
Thank you.
And that's
so
the
much.
prayer we should all be aware of, that we cannot stand for.
Thank you. That's your own. That is your own opinion, and
My
we
own
pray. We pray your own fear. Sorry, we pray that it doesn't happen that way, because the obedient movement and the Nigerians who came together prior to 2023 February 2023 general election to yell and shout with one voice that indeed they want a better nation. It will be sad for them. It will be heartbroken. They will be heartbroken if the election was not, if the tribunal does not properly do their job to the call on the side of justice, not looking at who is involved. So let's go back to our discussion. What measures can Labour Party implement to keep the obedient member loyal to the party?
It's a simple thing. Allow the due process to take full course. Do not allow these money bags and political opportunists crossing to join the party and allowing them to contest immediately in the election. We already know the only reason why they join is not because they believe in the party ethos. They only join it because they're political opportunists and they want to buy their way through the system. They think by buying their way through the system, then they will immediately have the obedient movement to follow them. It will not happen. The worst case scenario is not only the obedient movement and the obedient people will not vote for them, that they will totally lose faith in the process and then lose a generation of supporters that were supposed to be loyal to Labour Party. And that is the danger of it. Because, yeah, people can say, oh, but Peter Obi left AFGA to PDP and PDP to Labour Party to contest. Yeah, that is true. But when Peter Obi left AFGA, he was already a governor when he left. He left and he didn't join AFGA after that to join or run for anything. When he was chosen to join PDP and run as a vice president candidate with Atiku, he joined PDP not because he was running for anything, it was because he was invited. He was invited to join and run as a candidate with Atiku in 2019. When he saw that the money bags of Atiku in PDP, the second time around 2000, in this last election, when during the primary, he left. He left on the grounds of principle. He didn't join Labour Party because he felt Labour Party will win him and give him the grandstanding or the opportunity or the platform. He joined Labour Party because of the ethos of what Labour Party represents. Many obedient came from different walks of life, from different parties. They migrate to Labour Party because they also believe in what Labour Party and Peter Obi represent: fairness, equity, equality, justice, righteous deed. You understand? Public health, public education. They believe in it. They believe in the decency of a government that cares, a compassionate government that cares for the citizen, not for themselves and their family alone. A compassionate society that cares for the society, that cares for the children, the old, women, sick, disabled. That's what they believe. And they saw that in Peter Obi, and Peter Obi translated that in the labor context of Nigeria. That's why the idea of production to consumption, no idea other party have ever talked about that. That's a labor philosophy. Labor philosophy, production, creation. That's a labor philosophy. Now, if you now bring somebody who jumped like from APC, PDP, what is PDP philosophy? What is APC philosophy? We know what APC philosophy is. It's clipboard. They just steal. They lie. They lie and steal. That's what they're good at. No, show me one state governed by an APC governor that has transformed the state. No, not single one. Not even the over-exaggerated Lagos state by many APC people. So that is what Labour should be very careful about. Labour should be very careful that they do not allow somebody who crossed over, who bought his way to the ticket, financed also by APC or PDP, to buy the ticket and then lose a generation of voters. I'll give you a good question. Look, a good segue. Look at what is happening in Labour Party already. Some people are sponsoring people like Lamidi Apapa to come into Labour Party to try to disorganize Labour Party. Even he went to court the first time, he's wearing a Tinubu hat, going around claiming he's the Labour Party chairman. We know his source of income. He has zero income. All of a sudden, he's driving in luxurious car, flying in private jet, and then, because somebody's sponsoring it, to come and cause chaos, going from state to state, anointing state chairman, causing confusion, and expecting obedience. Even the so-called self-appointed press secretary to Lamidi called the obedient movement Obi idiot.
Thank you so much. Let me thank you so much. While you were just giving your explanation as to what Labour Party needs to do to keep the obedient loyal to the party, we just have another guest that just joined us in the studio, Dr. Frederick. Dr. Frederick, you are a bit late, but you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a bit late because if you see around me, you see that I'm on the street. It's good to be here, Chief MD. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, also, my dear
I'm
brother.
sure you can hear me well.
Much.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Prince, good to see you.
Same here, my GC. You are late, but you are going to be paying us 2 bottles of dry gin and a cola nut for being late. Let's fast forward to the topic for today.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can just respond. Go ahead.
Respond to the whiskey or to the palm wine that you want to find me for.
All of the above. All of the above.
Because I was trying to donate the 45-year-old whiskey from Nyesom Wike. That is what he drinks. But anyway, moving forward, the question is, who are the obedience? I am an obedient. But I am not a member of Labour Party. The obedience are new generations of Nigerians who are tired of the Nigeria of today. And like we all know, the name obedience is taken from Obi, So we believe in what Peter Obi stands for, and that is why we are supporting him. The obedient movement cuts across tribe, religion, and all of that. During the campaign season, the opposition talking about the APC, they were selling the false narrative that Obi was an ethnic or religious propagandist and all of that. But the truth is that we all know that Obi is a man of the people. He respects people. He respects religion and tribes. And across tribes, he called most of his traducers my brother, my elder brother. No matter your tribe and all of that. But recently, we've come to see who the religious extremists are, talking about the former governor Nasir El-Rufai, who was saying that the Muslim ticket is
Go ahead, we can hear you. I think Dr. I can hear you, Frederick.
We have happened in Nigeria.
Hello, can you hear me? I just changed from my phone to my laptop.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me now? Yes,
I
fine.
can hear you, Frederick.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the obedient movement represents the dream, the good dreams of the Nigerian people. The obedient movement is the movement that believes that it is possible for us to have stable electricity, security, a buoyant economy, um, and the message that the Peter Obi sent across the country resonated with the people, talking about moving from consumption to production, because this is what Nigerians want to see. Because when there is production, there will be food, yanfu yanfu, there will be money, there will be employment, and all of that. If you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, some people, they don't work. All they do is politics, politics, politics. From local government chairman, they want to go to House of Reps, from there to Senate, from there to governor, and from governor back to Senate, or they want to be minister, recycling themselves without any vision to improve the system. That is why you can see that today, since 1999, we have people in the National Assembly, people like Ahmed Lawan, the former Senate president. They are still there. So these are the personification of what is wrong with Nigeria. If you have somebody at the National Assembly since 1999 till now, they are the people they are the problems with the country. And this is what the obedient movement is trying to change. The obedient movement is saying that you can be a school teacher, you can be an Okada rider, and you can become a member of the House of Representatives. That is what the movement, I believe, stands for. It stands for the hope of the Nigerian people. It is not so when somebody says it's coming with renewed hope, you know, from change, we enter the next level. From next level, they're talking about renewed change. These are just words that they use as mind game against the people. So the obedient movement is authentically the dream of the Nigerian people. That is how I see the movement. What we are seeing today in Nigeria under Tinubu and Shetima is an interim government. So because the constitution does not make room for vacuum, that is why they were sworn in. But this is an interim government. The obedient movement, by the grace of God, through Peter Obi, will take over government, and we shall begin to really enjoy the Nigeria of our dream. Our country is too rich to be poor. We are too blessed to borrow, to be insecure, and to be the mockery of the world. All of these things will come to pass. Once again, our passport, green, white, green, shall be respected in every part of the world. But that will only be possible when Peter Obi comes into office. Now you can see that what Tinubu is doing now is trying to win the mind of the people, giving loans to students and all of that. And for people who are not consistent, who don't know what they want, they will say, Tinubu that they try now, make we cuckoo leave them now. There's nothing like cuckoo. There's nothing like cuckoo. You cannot have peace without justice. So he's trying to win the heart of people. Oh, you are suspended Emefiele and all of that and all of that. But the truth is that where they are now is temporary. They are doing what they want to do, but they are not doing the real thing. But they are even not. You cannot take, if you take the crown of a king and you put it on the head of a thief, there will be no honor. There will be no honor. So they are wearing a crown without honor. That is how I see it. So it is an opportunity to tell the obedience never to give up, because day by day, psychologically, you might start to think, make the cuckoo continue, make the Tinubu cuckoo continue now. Maybe Obi can try again in 2027, not 2027. No, we must be steadfast. Let us wait till the end of the court case. Don't be shaken, don't be moved. You can see, let me address another part of it. You, when you be thug, they give you collars, they give you gun, go kill people, snatch ballot boxes. Now they give position to themselves now. You don't see they give position to thug, to courtist, or to agbero when it's scatter election. Una eye go soon clear now. So these are the issues that we must begin to tell people that look, the real change will come. But we must all be persistent. We must make sure that we do not lose focus on the coming of Peter Obi. So that is what I just want to tell the obedient movement. Okay, so
Thank you, Dr.
thank you
Frederick.
very
But I
much
have
for
one
this
question.
powerful.
I know you. I know you're on the street at the moment, but I have one question that I would like you to answer. I've asked the other guests as well, but I would like you to answer that question before I let you go.
Yeah.
What measure can the Labour Party implement to keep their obedient member loyal?
Well, I am not a member of the Labour Party, so I cannot suggest. But what I will just like I told you, they just have to keep faith in the struggle. Because what Peter Obi is doing now, you can see all the evidences is bringing to court. So you can see that Obi is in the front of the battle and is be consistent. So we have to be consistent with him. We have to be faithful in what he's doing. We don't have to be shaken. We have to stay focused, you know. So that is, if no matter what the Tinubu government will do, if they like, let them begin to share money on the streets. But we must also remain focused on the obedient movement. So for the Labour Party, they should avoid scandals. They should avoid scandals because people are watching. People are watching, and they must not do anything that will give the opposition opportunity to diminish their credibility. So they should avoid scandal. That is just my advice to them.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. It's always an honor to have you on my program. I think I'm going to check on the comments. I think we have one or two comments from our viewers. Henry O, me too. I'm not a Labour Party, but I am obedient supporter. Thank you, Henry O. God bless you for being part of the program today. I think our brother Daniel, we lost connection there. Anyway, we have almost come to the end of today's segment. Do you have anything further to say to our viewers all over the world, Dr. Frederick?
Well, I just want to tell Nigerians in Nigeria that they should not give up before the finishing line. What we are doing is a marathon. When you are when you are running a long race, you don't give up before the finishing line. Once you stay focused on the obedient movement before the finishing line, together we shall get to the finishing line, and together as a people we shall begin to enjoy the good dreams, the Nigeria of our good dreams. Don't give up on our country. And for those ones that are living abroad, whether you have citizenship or not, do not give up on your country. The countries who are living today abroad were built by the sweat of their heroes. They were built by politicians. So we have a parable that the no matter how long you stay abroad, that you are still a Nigerian. Even if you say, that don't tire for Nigeria, no, I'm now an American citizen or this and that citizen. The truth is that the palm tree can live all its life in the river 20, 30, 40 years, but one day it will never become a crocodile. So no matter how long you live abroad, you can never be originally from that country. You are originally Nigerian. The Nigeria of our dream is coming soon. Congratulations in advance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like I said, we have come to the end of today's program. Our brother Chief MD is having some technical difficulties from his end. We have come to the end of today's program, and my closing remark is that the obedience never lose hope. Stay firm, stay focused. Like Dr. Frederick said, a better Nigeria is indeed possible and it's on the pipeline. And we need to remain focused in prayer and in spirit. We must continue to pray for our principal, Peter Gregory Obi, so that at the end, it will be victorious within the judicial system. And secondly, the Labour Party must be very careful. The Labour Party in Nigeria must be very careful. The leadership of Labour Party must be very careful. Do not take the obedient movement for granted. They are not part and parcel of Labour Party. Yes, some of them might be part of Labour Party, but many of them are not part and parcel of Labour Party. They are Nigerians of like mind who came together, who saw something good in Peter Obi and the Dr. Yusuf Ahmed Dati, Babada Ahmed. And that was why they rallied around them and were able to pull up the obedient movement to drive home the needed change in Nigeria. So Labour Party leadership, you must be very, very careful. Do not lose this base. This is something that has never happened in the history of Nigeria political, in the Nigeria political circle. So you must be very careful not to lose the obedient movement, because they are your backbone, not just the membership of the Labour Party alone, but the obedient worldwide, who finance, who put in their hard-earned money, their time, their effort to see to the end of the general election. So until next week, same time, same place, I hope to see you guys again. Dr. Frederick, remain blessed. God bless you. Shalom.
Thank you. Bye-bye.